4-1, but I think he wants to wait and take like 2 weeks off for whatever reason, and kind of reset, and then we'll have sort of a relaunch of season 4. But it's going to be good. I'll give you a hint, Misha Collins. It's going to be good, really good. So stay tuned. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Autumn. I was just wondering what your favorite blooper was, that they didn't end up making the show.
Supernatural? Gosh, man. I mean, yeah. Okay, so there were a lot of funny moments. The further it got into the show, where we all knew each other better, the more jokes there were, obviously. And in season 11, when I come back and we're about to go to war with the darkness, and I'm kind of standing on this really tall block or whatever, and I'm standing over basically all the leads of the show. It's like Jensen, Jared, Misha, Mark Shepard, and Ruth. And they shoot their coverage first, right? So I say all my lines, which are I'm rallying the troops. God, I'm rallying the troops. And they're all supposed to be, they're all God to them. So they do their acting. Oh, wow, okay. And then the camera turns on me, so I finally get to do my part. And these jokers, they were doing everything they could to try to make me laugh. At one point, Jared's finger was sticking out of Misha's pants. Like he had his hand around him and through the zip of his fly, so that was fun. Mark was doing his best to just not listen to me, so he'd be like, not listening to me. And then Ruth was the only one who was like, Robert, I'm listening, Robert, I'm listening. The other guys were just doing everything they could. The funny thing about those guys too is Jared was the obvious prankster. He would fart. He tried to play footsie with me under the table. He really tried to make me laugh. That was his favorite thing. But Jensen was sneaky, because he was like, I'm not doing anything. No bro. But the minute you looked at Jared, Jensen was trying to get. There was one point where I was talking to the both of them in season 11, and I'm looking at Jared, who's doing something farty and making a face, and then look over at Jensen, and he's making a funny face, and then So he's sneaky. He'll get away with stuff. But I guess that was it was half my favorite moment, because I was working with all these people that I love, and they're the leads of the show, and that was a kind of a cool thing. And that was back when I was still an okay God, So it was a good moment, just before you all started hating me. But also, it's just they're such pranksters, and they're just doing everything they could to make me laugh. And if you could have seen what I saw, it was pretty wild. But yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Hi, Rob.
Hi.
This is my first convention, and thank you very much for allowing Speight. He's fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome singer. And I've been a fan since the pilot episode, and then the introduction of Chuck Shirley, and then of course your graduation to the Almighty was fascinating.
Thank you.
But knowing now after your podcast, which I started listening to recently, that you haven't watched the show, so
Yeah.
I was fascinated that he hasn't watched the show, and he plays a very pivotal character.
I know.
How do you prepare for it? Wow, it's so
Well,
fascinating.
the truth is that I've watched certain episodes, I always tried to watch the episode my character would reference. I'd go back and watch that. And I saw clips and things. I just never sat down and watched, and I realized in rewatching the show, oh my God, I never actually saw the episode where Jensen says the family business or whatever, and I'm going, that's the line. So yeah, I just never sat down and watched the whole thing, and I've missed, that to watch it in order, But yeah, playing God, certainly I have enough experience with the show, and I've seen enough bits, and doing these conventions, you learn a lot, because you guys don't miss a thing. So I'll get asked questions where I'm like, well the answer is, I'm sorry, what happened? And then I find out what it was. So by the time season 11 came around, where I was God, I knew a lot. By that point, I'd been doing a lot of conventions, and I certainly knew a lot. So I certainly tried to be responsible as an actor and watch everything I could to know what I was talking about. But at the same time, for the little bits that I missed, there was the thing about God in season 11 was he was kind of an absentee father. That was the part of it. Was he was like, yeah, I know enough. And that's where they're kind of their problem with me. So it worked, you know what I mean? That I didn't know every single little bits and pieces, you know? And I still think like the end of season 5, that swan song was such a great, I thought that was such a cool episode to do, and I remember recording the voiceover for that, and I feel like all those words that Eric Kripke wrote meant so much. I feel like that summed up so much for those boys, and that meant a lot to me. These little things that have a big impact on me, and I think all that stuff plays into it. And I did always feel when I played God, even when it got bad at the end, I still always felt that it was really true that he loved that Sam and that Dean more than anybody. And it wasn't just that he wasn't a heartless God, he just was like thinking a bigger picture, thinking about himself, not really, you know, humans maybe don't, you know what I mean, easy little chess pieces he could play with, but he really did love them. And, yeah. And I love them. Thank you. I guess I have time for one more question, guys.
This is actually really good timing.
Okay, hi.
I actually wanted to know how you got and Speight came to be as a band.
Oh, great timing. So in the 90s, no joke, it was probably 95 or something, Mike went to graduate school where I went to undergrad, so we knew some of the same people. We ended up getting together with another guy who played guitar, and we all just play guitar, cover songs, and then we started sort of introducing, oh, I wrote this song, and we were all writing songs and singing them, and then we played them out at a party I had at my apartment, and one of the people at the party was a friend of a friend named Steve Norton. And afterwards he was like, hey, I played the drums, would you want me to be your drummer? And we're like, yeah! And then once you have a drummer, and Mike was like, hey, I'll slide over and play the bass. I'm like, we got a band. And that's kind of how we came together. And then the other guitar player kind of dropped off in the late 90s, and we just played as a 3-piece. And that was fun, but we were always missing that, you know, another guitar player. And one evening, well, no, several evenings, we played with another band, and the lead singer of that band was Billy Moran. Yeah, and they were called Lost in Mayberry. And Lost in Mayberry broke up, and Billy called us, and he was like, would you want me to join your band? We were like, I fucking would love that. And when Billy joined the band in 2004, 2006, it all really came together. And
He passed the audition. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, then we became what we are today, and what we've been ever since. And, yeah. Thank you. Thanks for the question. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for a lovely weekend. New Jersey, you always impress, and we've all been talking about it backstage. What a wonderful energy it is here. We love it. You make it easy for us. We love you so much. We'll be back. And now we're going to sing a song. We're all singing the end of the cons. Please sing with us if you know it. It's the end of the con as we know it. It's the end of the con as we know it. It's the end of the con as we know it. So go home. At your own house, you need to read your photographs. It's the end of the con as we know it. It's the end of the con as we know it. It's the end of the con as we know it. So go home. Thank you, New Jersey. Thank you so much for a wonderful weekend. See you next time.